Hello again. Bobbin tension. Bobbin tension on this lovely Sweet 16. So you've got your new machine, you've got it threaded up with some really bright pink thread, or whichever is your favourite thread. And we now need to do and talk about the bobbin. So the bobbin tension, really, really important. In the sheets that we've given you, I would refer you to this one in particular. We talk about bobbin tension and we talk about the needle and the hook assembly, which is what this is in sideways cross section. It's really, really important. Bobbin tension is the foundation of all of our tension. Everything that we do after we've set the bobbin tension is all about the top tension, and the top tension is the thing that we adjust. But once we've set the bobbin tension, we know what we've got, we leave that. We leave it because by doing that first, we've only got to increase or decrease the top. It means there's only those two ways that we can go. It's much, much easier than trying to deal with effectively four variables. So that's the way that we will proceed. So let's talk a little bit about the bobbin and the bobbin case and the different types of bobbins you can get and some of the maintenance things that you need to do. So first of all, the bobbin case, it's an M-sized bobbin that fits in this bobbin case. The bobbin case is a high precision engineering component. They're made in either Italy for Handi Quilter or in Japan. Serliani or Koban are the manufacturer's names. And both are interchangeable. So we've got what looks like a standard old style Singer or Bernina have the similar sort of old style Berninas have these as a front loading rotary hook system. It's tried and tested. It can go very, very fast. We have the same bobbin case in the Infinity machine, 3,100 stitches per minute, which is quick. It has a little latch door on the front. It also has a spring. This spring on the outside is what determines the bobbin tension. And on the inside, it also has another spring. This is called the backlash spring. And the backlash spring is designed to stop problems of inconsistent bobbin tension as a result of going very, very fast, coming to a sudden stop, and having the bobbin continue to rotate within the bobbin case. When you get that, you can get irregular tension. So the bobbin case has this backlash spring inside, which is made like a sprung steel. And the way that it works is when we put our M-size aluminium bobbin clockwise into the bobbin case, I normally hold it with a little slit at the top and pop it in like that. What you should see is there's a little bit of tension, a little bit of pop on there, which is basically from that backlash spring. Now, the backlash spring can, from time to time, pop out. So here we go, let's just take this one out. This is what it looks like. So that's the backlash spring. And the backlash spring has little flanges on it, and those flanges fit into little cutouts on the inside of the bobbin case. So you can't get it in the wrong way around. There's one that's at the front left here, and now that's back in place. It shouldn't, the backlash spring shouldn't be in this sort of area here at the front. We've got this little cutout. It shouldn't foul that. So that's the backlash spring, a little bit about that. Now, the bobbin case, the bobbins are made of aluminium. They're very lightweight. They have a little cutout, so when you load it on your bobbin winder, you can pull the thread through there and then cut it off when it's wound. What you don't want to do is overwind or overfill these bobbins. The bobbin consistency should be such that it's enough that you have consistent tension and it's not too spongy, that it's not so full that it pushes the outside edge of the bobbin out. That would be a problem. And I have seen that where people have overfilled, particularly with very, very fine bobbin thread. So when we put it in, going to the right clockwise into the bobbin case, through that little slot and underneath the spring. Now we do the bobbin drop test. So by holding the bobbin case in my hand like so, with the bobbin facing uppermost, I just pull the thread upright. Now, that is not correct. That's too tight. So what I need to do is I need to loosen that off. There's a little screw. There's actually two. One holds the spring in place and one is the adjustment. The adjustment one is the bigger of the two. And I'm going to adjust that by reducing the tension on that spring by 5 minutes of a clock face at a time. So let's just do that and then try it again. And that looks actually pretty good. I think I've hit the jackpot. What I'm looking for is that I can pick the bobbin case out of my hand, but it just goes smoothly. But it feels like there is a bit of tension. It's not just completely slack. Let's see what happens if I reduce that by another 10 minutes of a clock face. There we go. I can hardly even get that to come upright. It's really slack. And it was too tight at the beginning, so I don't need to illustrate that. So let's just tighten that up again. Just slightly too tight. 2 minutes at a time. When you get close is all you need to adjust it. Between 2 and 5 minutes is a massive adjustment. So when we've got it correctly set, make sure that it is still in the bobbin case correctly, and now you're ready to put it into the machine, which I'll show you separately. Keep the latch door closed when you're loading the bobbin case into the machine. You just hold it either side like that with the latch door closed. One other thing I want to show you while we're on the subject of bobbins is the different styles of bobbins. So there's one you'll have a sample of which is from Superior Threads, which is called a super bob. It has cardboard outers and you can remove the cardboard outers. So when you put it into the machine, remove this cardboard outer that's closest to the bobbin case. This one is a plastic one. You've also got a sample of this. This is Deco Bob. This is an 80 weight polyester. We recommend that you remove 20 arms lengths because they tend to be slightly overfilled, and very occasionally we get one that's wound incorrectly. It's very, very slack. Just have to return that to us and we'll give you a refund or send you another one. Doesn't happen very often. We normally pick it up. This is one by the people who make the glide thread. It's called a Magna bobbin. It has a little magnet on the inside of this, and what it's designed to do is to stop the backlash issue as well. But that means that the magnet stops you from being able to do the drop test. Okay, so the way we do it with this is I'd set it so that it's almost like a yo-yo, that it'll go down. When I do that, it feels quite smooth. I might just loosen it slightly more off. There we go. There we go. That's nice. So it's just coming down as I put a bit of emphasis on it by doing it like a yo-yo. So that's Magna Glide, Magna Soft. They're all set in that way. And the other thing to mention is this is the hook, so that you can visualize what you're looking at. This is inside, underneath here, under this bit here. This is what it looks like inside. And the shaft of the machine goes into this little hole here, and that's held in place. And this ring here is held in place, and this literally then rotates around. So this is called the hook assembly. And this hook assembly has got within it, it's two metal moving parts, which is why every bobbin change we need to oil it, so that those two metal moving parts have always got lubrication. What happens is if you don't lubricate it, that it wears and then you get a bit of movement and then you get skip stitches. But the other thing to note is that on this bobbin case, on this hook assembly, you've got little cutouts. These are blades. And what happens is if you get a bird's nest, say you don't floss up correctly on your tension discs and the top tension is completely loose, it throws a whole load of the top thread to the underside. You end up with a bird's nest, and then you find you can't move your fabric, and it's like, oh my gosh. So when that happens, if you go to the back of the machine and you rotate the hand wheel backwards and forwards, it's actually activating those blades. You're doing this, and those blades will then cut the fabric, and suddenly you'll find that you can move the fabric and you think, oh, it's suddenly freed. Well, that's because of the blades. You've got the same on your domestic machine, so now you know. Okay, that's it on bobbin tension, and we're going to cover bobbin tension, setting a bobbin tension one-on-one, because it's such an important part. In fact, one thing I've forgotten to mention is you can get lint build-up within the bobbin case, and you can sometimes get it underneath that spring. So use a business card and just pop it underneath that spring, and you might find a little bit of fluff. And that little bit of fluff may look insignificant, and it actually can make a huge amount of difference. So I would recommend doing that if you've been using very linty threads. Some of the cottons in particular can cause a lot of problems. So there we go, that's it on bobbin tension. I look forward to seeing you when we start doing some maintenance on the bobbin hook assembly area. See you in a bit.